Reparations is just fantasy. Instead of Africa begging for reparation, here are 5 strong strategic moves that Africa should actually make instead of begging for reparations. The first point, Africa should create a continental credit system for intra-Africa trade. Africa actually trades more with Europe, with China, more than Africa actually trades within itself. Instead of trading with dollar, instead of trading with the France currency, instead of trading with RMB, African countries can actually build a system where they trade with their own currency. This will actually unlock billions into Africa and make a whole lot of countries rich in Africa. Secondly, is for Africa to engage in resource building instead of exporting raw materials. When you export gold from countries like Burkina Faso, you get it back as jewelry that most of the people in Africa cannot even buy. When you export cocoa, you get back chocolate that is so expensive. When you export this raw material, it's being given back to you in a refined form, and most Africans, 70% of Africans, cannot even afford these raw materials which they exported so cheap to these European countries and these American countries. But if we can actually refine it and make it look more beautiful, more attractive, Africa actually have 30% of the world's natural resources. When those raw materials, even if it's 30% of the raw materials that individuals in Africa actually turn to a refined and finished product, Africa will actually gain a whole lot from it. The third of Africa to actually leverage its population. Africa is the freshest and the youngest continent in the world. More than 70% of the individuals who live in Africa are less than 30 years of age. Africa is as young as ever. So Africa leveraging that population to actually bring investors into Africa, because these individuals are actually looking out for jobs. Most of them do not have jobs. Most of them survive in less than $1 every single day. Thereby, you bringing in companies into Africa for these individuals to actually work from you, you actually get the cheapest labor ever in Africa. The fourth point is for Africa to lower the taxes and regulations that are in Africa. What brings companies into countries is low taxes. Donald Trump actually cut up to 60% of taxes of companies, of individuals in America, and that is actually driving a whole lot of companies into America, because more taxes bring in investors, lesser regulations in investors. It brings them when they know that, and they know that Africa have these natural resources. You don't actually need to transport it from down here in Africa to Europe. You just need to take it from the digging site, carry it direct to your company, and then produce. And this will actually give a whole lot of Africans work. So leveraging what we have is one of the things that Africa can actually do, and they are going to prosper. The fifth one is for Africa to allow burning. Every single thing that you have me say right now cannot be done if there is absolutely no burning. Industrialization cannot